also.
Eddie. Yeah. Okay, it's recording now.
Great. All right. Nothing incriminating now.
Well, it's okay if we do though, but it's frowned upon.
Why don't we, while we're waiting, why don't we start giving me a heads up on kind of how the last week went, if there were any particular struggles or anything that didn't get done or what went well, so I can get an idea of where we're starting from.
Well, I was in the hospital last week, so that's
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a setback, but no, everything went pretty smooth last week. I thought. I mean, we got everything implemented and went over some stuff that had been bugging out for a while and got it fixed and got some audio back in and did a few things that prettied up the game a little bit.
Okay.
Well, see, which is kind of weird too, because like when the audio in the editor, it works just fine, but sometimes in the build, the audio trigger does not work how I put it in there.
When you say sometimes, how often are you talking?
I've noticed that it didn't do it maybe twice out of five or six times.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty often.
Yeah.
Is it consistent on other machines?
Well, the build that JP made, he said it works just fine. So I don't know if it might be a collab thing or as far as like maybe something on my end.
Huh, okay.
See, that's what I'm wondering. I've seen that happen a couple times. People getting different errors on different machines, and it's odd.
Yeah.
We also
Everybody has the same laptop, right?
we're all using desktops.
Oh,
We
all
get
using
better machines.
Yeah.
see, so you're not even using your full cell provided laptop.
My
President's case sitting there.
well, see, I've used it. I've used it prior to this class, but as soon as like it needed like something beefy, I was like, okay, time to whip out the big guns and use my PC.
Maybe that's why I get different errors than you guys when I test your games.
What was that?
I said maybe that's why I get different errors when I test their game.
I mean, it's absolutely possible, but like on the PC platform, we can't really worry about it, right? Like, there's always going to be some subtle difference. Someone could have a different driver on the same machine, and it's still an issue, right? Like, that's the pain of PC development for sure.
Yeah.
But then that's when you just got to look at like, okay, how often is this actually happening? Where, is it happening on multiple machines or just on one? Like, you never know.
Well, see, we're also probably using like an old version of Unity too.
Yeah.
We're using the last version, 5.5, is what we're using for the particular one.
Like really last one.
Gotcha. Okay, so everything else went pretty well. I mean, even with the hospital visit, everything got taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that was on the task list got done, and some.
Okay, great.
Their artist was also sick, so they didn't get a lot of art assets this week.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I got in what she gave.
Yeah. Karis was informed of it today, and I got to talk to her as well. I also made her play test your game today because she had never played your game. So she got a better understanding of the type of assets you guys need.
Karis or Sam?
Sam.
Okay.
So like the wheat field right now is just like a brown block with squiggles on it. So she's gonna give you guys some good wheat field stuff like that. She noticed that the UI, the color scheme of the UI from holding down control and seeing the stats of each of the things are different colors than the rest of the UI, and it looks like a little different, a little odd. So she's gonna come up with some stuff. The point was she had never played your game though, so it gives her a better understanding.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, it's a good idea to play the game you're working on.
Yeah, exactly. When she said that, I was like, "Oh." She's like, "I watched somebody else play test it, but I've never played it."
Yeah, that's all right.
Cool.
All right, so just a heads up, I have to duck out at about 10 till because I have another team that I'm meeting with right at 9. Actually, I have 3 teams, and you guys wanted 7, 8, and 9 o'clock. I'm like, all right, well, I guess Monday night is now feedback night.
Sweet deal.
And of course, this isn't the only time I'm available to you. So if we come out of this with needing some more information, we can set up another time, or we can whatever we need to do is fine. I just want to make sure you guys get feedback as soon as we can get it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, awesome.
Past classes too. We always had a meeting with our instructor like Mondays, so that's what we're used to.
great. No, that works just fine for me.
Awesome.
So what would you guys prefer? What's going to help you the most? Do you want me to play through and us talk about it? Do you want to have someone else play and show me particular things? Like what would give you the best feedback right now?
I'd say instructor feedback, like as far as you playing it, or if you want to play it while we're in the call. That's how they usually our past instructors did.
That's totally fine.
That's just me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I agree, because then we get his viewpoint.
Yeah, that's been working for the past 2 months, so I think that's a good way to go.
Who was your instructor last month?
Sanchez.
Yeah,
And the month before?
Sanchez.
Okay.
The one before that?
I'm lost in that one, honestly.
I forgot who our third.
Gallo before that.
Oh, that's right.
Gallo.
Dude, he looks like Chris Metzen. Never gonna let that go.
Yeah, I think you guys are pretty much just at a polish and like balancing sense at this point, where you're just like fooling around with what people playtesting your game feel would make it better. Your game is completely functional.
So we actually have an interesting scenario here, because with me looking at the wrong build the first time, then I grabbed the current one, but I didn't put a ton of time into it because I didn't want to give you a bunch of feedback to hold you back, right? So I'm really fresh eyes right now. So as we do this, you're going to get like really just my impression of what I'm seeing. So for what that's worth.
Okay.
All right. So start the tutorial. Okay. All good so far. Oh, he disappeared. All right. Cool. So I'm curious, is this?
Correct.
It's like that's just enough different that I'm not sure I would necessarily correlate that quickly.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. No, it ended up, it was an image I had already for the UI, and then I just ended up just staying in the tutorial. That is something that I've been meaning to update, though. It's just to put it for Brendan's tree image that we have.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the villager prefab that just popped up too when it was explaining the villager was the old villager.
Yeah, it's because the art on the animations real fast, but I didn't have time to go and update the tutorial UI to get that done. So
She's going to be getting you a more finalized piece anyway soon, so you'd have to change it again.
okay, that's cool.
So do you see that? It took me 3 times clicking that for it to work.
It did?
Yeah, I clicked it twice, and then I was about to ask if that's what I was supposed to do, and then I clicked it again, and it worked.
That's odd. That's something that needs to be looked into.
All right.
Whoa. What was that?
Apparently that happens in the tutorial too.
What was that?
That's Teddy.
That was Teddy.
That's Teddy.
You're supposed to be our toasty.
He's just watching over you, making sure.
This group's attempt at humor.
It should have screamed or something.
We're working on that.
All right. Select media realize by clicking left on it. Is that eventually going to show up here?
Yeah.
And so like we're at the point now where this is polished, right? So we're going to be nitpicky. You know what I mean? Like, because we want to make sure that, or I want to make sure that the things that you have in mind to do this month are the right kind of things for making sure your game is polished and that the player understands it and that kind of stuff. So, last month this wouldn't have mattered at all, but now that we're in the end, like, we really do want to have this above the character's head, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this stuff contextual? Like, would this have continued if I had not selected correctly?
Some of it is. Like, you'll see in a moment when you build villagers, you have to build villagers to continue on, but not all of it is contextual.
Okay.
So some of it probably should be, but not all of it is.
Well, I just want to make sure that, like, that this can't get so far ahead that it breaks, or like it's waiting for something that it's no longer telling you to do, or something along those lines. So, but we can have people pound on that to make sure nothing like that's happening.
All right.
Right.
Wait, did I miss something? Did it tell me to do something and I missed it? And now it says your other villager.
I would say one of them was supposed to go to the woods at this point.
And is that a right click? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. 3 hour.
Animation, man.
That looks pretty cool, man. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet?
I have not. This looks pretty cool.
Yeah, this does a pretty good job of relaying what's going on here. The movement's good. What's really funny is that looks like a nose on him right now.
Yeah.
Looks like a clown walking by. All right, let's try and spawn some other villagers. Okay, awesome. This is good. 3 more times. Is that? Oh, I don't have enough wheat. How can I do this 3 more times? I've got to wait. Never mind.
That's right. And we may want to update the starting with the villagers to balance out some of the gameplay issues. So that's actually the tutorial quite a bit. I may need to adjust for that.
Yeah, I had Sam today was very confused. She's like, I can't even build 3 villagers. What am I supposed to do? And I was like, have them harvest wheat.
Yeah, so that's the thing though. Like, usually in a tutorial, when it tells you to do it, it implies that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to add something in there that says, gather enough resources. So you say provided you have, but I would, if you're real more clear, just say gather enough resources to build 3. Then that frames it in a clear picture right away. All right, so I did that. I've made 3 more. So what do I do now to continue?
Apparently, you need to collect 100 wheat and wood.
If that is a true next condition, we definitely would want that to be here somewhere.
Okay.
Because essentially, right now, I'm not able to play. Right, like I'm just kind of waiting.
Yeah.
And it's unclear what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. It does say it on the side, but
Yeah.
On the side?
yeah, in the text
In
box.
the text box, it says
Collect 100 wheat and wood to continue. Remember,
Oh,
you can
gosh.
spawn more villagers to speed things up.
So I read it, and so this might be with how the text is kind of bundled together.
Mhm.
Because like what you might want to do here is once you collect 3, go to the next screen, which now says collect 100 wood and wheat to continue. Because like in my head, I was like, oh, I'm doing the thing I need to do. I wasn't expecting a second condition in the middle of the text.
Okay. Yeah.
Or put them off as separate objectives, right? Like have a 1 and a 2 by it or something like that.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Because this is the first real feedback I've gotten on the tutorial, so that's good.
This is what we're here for.
No, that's good.
First line defense, the hero. Cool.
Oh, that arrow lost it.
All right. On the hero screen. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, his movement is restricted within the bounds of the village. Okay. What does that mean?
He's a village
You
hero.
can't go past that.
The 2 green pylons.
Oh, so I happened to stop right there. Okay. Does that change?
Nope.
Is there any way to get him out of here?
No.
Okay.
Shouldn't be.
Gotcha.
He's basically
No,
just the
there's
last
not
line
right
of
now.
defense.
It is intended that he will stay here. Gotcha.
The villagers can't leave anymore either, correct?
Correct.
No,
Because
they
of that.
can't.
Weird thing I did.
Because apparently you could beat this game with a villager if they didn't leave the village.
Well, you couldn't win, but you could never lose either.
Yeah, you could never lose. I'm really good at breaking games, not necessarily beating them.
Let's see. View by mousing over their icon. Oh, press the control. Oh.
Yeah, everybody loves this, by the way. Everyone that I've had play it, but everybody says the same thing. They're never going to read the green text at the bottom while they're playing. It would take too long.
That's true. That's what tutorials are for, right?
The green text is just like joking around, little puns, just a little humor on the side. They don't actually. All the information is right then and there with the little button or pictures.
Yeah, the pictures are perfect. That's what they love about it. Is all the icons tell them exactly what they need to know. So it's super quick for them to check it and then just look at it and know what's up. You know.
So this says costs 50 wheat here, but over there it says 15. Or am I reading?
Yeah, we need to update that. It used to be a flat cost for the villagers, but we found out that you could just spam villagers and get the max, and the game was super easy after that.
Oh, so you're
yeah,
increasing it each time?
So every time you make a new villager, it costs a little bit more.
So
Need to check
so can you have this update at the same rate? Like that'd be ideal.
Yeah. I mean, I did that for the costs like above the villager when you hover over the villagers, so that should be pretty simple. Even if I have to make
I don't think that UI got updated as well.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the control update.
Yeah, the one reason why that actually I was the one that was going to be working on that, or had worked on it previously and set that up. Right now, everything is actually just a picture, so I would have to update every single little thing on the entire UI to be able to have an editable text box, and I figured that could be for another week or something just to get that finalized.
We can just put a text box in for the villager. That should be all we need. Delete
Yeah.
that 15, unless it is just that entire thing is just a photo.
The entire thing's a photo, but we can actually do what you just said. My only worry is the consistency. You know, is it going to actually look the same? You know, it'd be odd to have this one number just not look anything like any of the other numbers. So that's just playing around. So we get it.
So one other thing I'm noticing here is I don't know what any of these icons actually mean down here. Are you intending for this to be where I learn this information, or does that come later? Like I have no idea what a sideways arrow means. Well, if I think about it, it might mean movement speed.
Yeah. Yeah, I figure we could do like a little quick panel that says, you know, what's what real quick and then moves on.
So
Yeah,
what
we
what
can
you
add
might-
into the tutorial there.
What you might want to do, like, okay, so the click from here is really good. I wonder if you could add an additional click on top of these so you can see, or hover over that shows like what it actually means or something like that.
Okay.
All right.
Just something here,
It's
because
not
like
a bad idea.
this is not, you know, this is great information if I know what this means, but I don't yet know what it means, right?
Okay. Okay.
So, let's see.
Those can really be just like one word little pop-ups too.
Yeah.
health, speed, strength, weakness.
Yeah. Well, those two actually say a little bit of.
Yeah, heals and clean.
Maybe I could do something like that underneath, just like move the words up, not make a big arrow, and just put in the words, speed or movement speed there.
By the way, I swear I sent this to you guys. I may not have, though, because it was the last thing that happened.
Hmm.
I know that doctors are not supposed to do damage, but do they do damage to the Reaper?
No.
Okay, because I spawned like 20 of them today, and they killed the Reaper.
Really?
Interesting.
I thought.
I wonder
only-
if that's in there. That needs to be checked for.
Yeah, I thought only things tagged as soldiers
Well,
dealt damage.
doctors are soldiers.
Okay, well then yes, they would deal damage to the Reaper.
Okay.
Yeah. That needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I think the Reaper damage system just needs to be readdressed, honestly.
Because I realized I could create like a wall of doctors stopping enemies from coming in because they all heal each other. So I tested it, and I just spawned like 20 doctors to see how long it would give me before things got broke through. And they ended up killing the Reaper because the Reaper didn't spawn enemies fast enough before they got there.
Yeah.
So
So
Amazing.
one thing I would suggest right now, notice how much resources I have right now. You might want to like pause play when I move into, like, once you get the 100 of each, like pause play so that it's not just sitting there gathering, right? Unless you don't care, right? Like, but that could, like, an expectation would be like, oh, I'm still in tutorial. I did the thing I needed to by getting the resources. Now everything's paused while I figure out the next thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So another thing I just noticed here is, like, so if I hit control here, I can then hit control in other places, and it shows whatever the last thing I was looking at. I don't know if that matters to you or not. But the other one I noticed here, this was the one that actually caught my eye, is I can hold control and move the mouse up, and let go of control, and that one stays over here.
Oh, that's interesting.
So like that, I would literally just kind of keep playing the game at that point and have it there. So the other ones don't do that. Like these, they go away if I try to do it there. Just that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
I think I know what may have happened though, because at some point a couple days ago, Unity completely got rid of a lot of our UI tags with buttons, and I had to go through like everything and revamp it. It may have been that was just one that got missed.
Cool. All right. So let's see. We saw that. All through regular units, special units. Okay. Whoa. All right. Doctor multifunctional. Cannot attack the Canadian in other ways. Okay. So that just told me that it also cleans up the plague clouds,
Mhm.
but my impression was like, okay, then what's different about, like, does it do it at the same rate? Does it do it slower? Like, I would expect there to be something like, it has the same ability, but his is, somehow different. Or is it different at all?
It's the same.
Okay.
I think they clean up at the same rate, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His ability mainly is that the difference, I guess, that needs to be added in there is that he's an attack unit. He doesn't heal any other units. He's an attack unit that can clean up
Cool.
plague clouds.
Okay, and that makes sense. That was a piece that I was trying to make sure about, was what
Okay.
the major difference was.
Yeah.
It's fine if they heal at the same rate, as long as what you're like presenting to the player and focusing on is, hey, this guy's a healer, this guy's an attacker, plus they both do the cloud thing.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so no attack ability. Towers. Build towers, okay. Your R?
Nope.
Oh,
See that late night typo now.
Okay, cool. Oh. Yeah, see, now I've got tons of resources.
Mhm.
All right, so Did it talk? It didn't talk about these regular units, did it? Well, it talked about the doctor, and then the engineer and the cleric knight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
No, it doesn't single out the other ones. It probably should. The Benite, your basic attack units.
yeah, I would mention those first, and then go into the
Yeah.
special units. You might. I mean, I don't know if you're going to really have time for this, but you could consider like doing something that shows like how each one works, like a little scenario for each one or something when you get them up there. What's going on? Why aren't my guys spawning? Oh, they come from. Where'd they come from?
It's an excellent question.
Oh, what happened?
All right, so we got a bandit. I can be the warrior. No engineer?
The button not work?
I don't think so.
No, it's not even clicking.
Oh, none of these bottom ones need to work.
That's weird.
Do they work in the build?
I'm pretty sure they work in the build.
Yeah,
Yeah, they work in the build.
Yeah.
What do you mean in the build?
Like,
Like,
in
in the
the
regular game.
actual levels.
Yeah.
Apparently the tutorial is being extra
okay.
funky, which it has never done before.
Yeah. It's like when you were trying to hit the toggle UI button. I don't know why it was giving you grief there. I'm going to have to look into that too. I don't know what was going on there.
We're about to end this.
And then the doctors come out of the trees, dude.
Where should they be spawning?
Like right right below where the hero's at.
Okay.
It's because I believe that their zero position is off. Their main objects, they're spawning way off. But
You know, if we're leaving the houses in there, maybe we should have units spawn out of houses.
Hold on. Somebody needs to describe to me how a bunch of rats took all those dudes down.
Because those warriors are weak to rats.
What?
Those are ROUSs, man.
What?
yeah, the easy strategy so far has been the knight strategy. If you build a bunch of knights, then
Yep, the beacons are lit. Gondor calls for aid.
If only my button worked.
I was told today by somebody playtesting it that when you spawn 10 knights, a horn should sound.
that sounds
a
like
good idea.
Actually.
What if we just had the knights to stop them from being overpowered? We just, every time you spawn it, it spawns a certain amount of them, like 2 or 3. The horn sounds, and then you can't spawn them again until they die.
What is happening? There we go. All right.
Good. I win every level with knights.
Because they're a little powerful right now.
I think what makes them so strong, believe it or not, is not their attack. It's the fact that you can get them to the pit before other things are spawning. Because
Yeah.
they're so quick.
Yeah, their speed is what makes them a strong unit.
Everybody was very confused by this, by the way, that you start the game with an engineer, a warrior, and a bandit.
Yeah, that's a lot to kind of just helps to show for the very first level.
So, for instance, he has no idea right now that he can build a tower. Because he didn't build that engineer.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Oh.
So that white tower button where it says Tower 1, you can click it and choose what type of tower you want to build.
Oh. Yeah. Why wasn't there a tutorial for that?
That's true, too. It doesn't go over that in the tutorial. It says that the engineer can help you build towers, but it doesn't tell you how.
I think that's because last time the tutorial really got messed with was 2 weeks ago, and that was before some of this tower stuff went in, and so
Yeah.
it hasn't been.
Because towers are really different this week.
Yeah.
The buttons
Right now-
used to be on the platform, and then you 100% knew that that platform was like you could build a tower on it.
Yeah, that's going to be implemented in the next week because right now you don't know what's what. You don't even know what tower you're really selecting. Like, out of the level what's tower 1. So all that's going to be put in there. Right now, though, the speed and the slow tower, they don't work right now just because of the new revamping system. They have to be updated.
There's also not a lot of information on tower types. So, for instance, everybody seems to choose the multi because it sounds like, well, why would I have a single shot one when I can shoot multi?
Yeah, I'm going to do the control thing as well that displays information about the towers.
Why is homie just sitting there?
He was clearing away the cloud.
Oh.
Blade cloud.
Oh, damn, increased wheat costs. Uh-oh, it's going to be a bad day for someone. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's honestly the rock paper scissors thing is super important to keeping your people alive.
Yeah, and I think that because it is that important, I would hammer that home earlier. Like I would even show a chart, like a rock, paper, scissors chart.
So keep it just as a constant part of the UI.
No, not necessarily. I mean, you could like do something to pull it up and see it, but like in your tutorial, I would like show it and be like, this kills this, which kills this, which kills this, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it seems super important.
Yeah, because at this point, I think we've all played it so much, I don't even need to look anymore. To know that bandits kill rats and warriors kill ghouls and stuff like that.
And you'll pick it up quickly. I just like it's not really focused on enough right up front to make it feel like it's as crucial part of the game as it is. All right, let's see. I want another bandit. So I click the engineer. Does he need to get close to this tower?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You also might want to indicate which tower number they are.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna have a visual cue on it on the next update.
Just hammering away at that rat.
Yes.
Very good.
With that sound.
I mean, it would probably be really hard for a guy riding a horse to kill a rat.
That's a good point.
Not if they're lucky.
Well, they're not regular rats. They're pretty gigantic.
Also, some information about what these mean
Yeah.
Yeah.
would be good too.
Okay.
So I assume, like the speed. Wait. Yeah, actually, I don't understand this at all. Is this you can do single or multi, or speed or slow? Is that?
No, they're all for each their own different type of tower. That was just for I had to do a quick fix for the or a label for the towers. This was all a brand new system implemented into the UI. So I just threw up some words to recognize what's what. And next week I'm gonna go through and actually I'm gonna try and create that whole UI thing that I have for the units that just says, okay, this is what each tower does, and then this says which towers is what's tower 1, what's tower 2, stuff like that.
It's not the best thing in the world, but if you go into the pause menu, there's a little bit of
It's okay, JP. It's beautiful.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
So
it's,
one thing I'm
it's not
curious about-
it's not the best thing in the world because it takes too long for a player to see it.
Honestly, though, it might be better in the sense of being able to stop the game to look at that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, to me, that was the only issue with the tooltips on the little characters is any of the reading was like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah. The reading is useless. It's literally like fun and jokes. Like the knight, literally, that's doing damage to the rat. Right now, it actually does not do damage.
Oh,
because
really?
The multi-shot doesn't do damage right now?
yeah, the only the single tower is working right now because everything's being re-implemented and updated to the new system.
So that's on the task list.
Yeah, that's easy. It'll take 2 seconds.
Oh, you know what that means, guys.
Yeah, there was an issue today with what is it called? The bandits would, even with a doctor directly behind them, you'd never even see the plague cloud, but the bandits would take like 25% of their health and damage after killing a rat. By the time the plague cloud was taken away. And so a lot of them, I don't know if 25% is right, probably more about like 15%. So it was really upsetting about how fast bandits die in clouds.
They all have the same amount of damage that they take from the clouds. The only difference is bandits have a significantly lower health than any other unit because they also do some of the most damage.
Okay.
Why does the music keep going up?
No.
Oh, because it's attached to WASD.
Really?
No.
Oh my god.
That was not intended.
It's like a cruel joke right here.
We'll listen to this music.
Oh god.
That's the best bug ever.
That is embarrassing to me, guys.
I did not even notice that.
This is so good.
Well, that's exactly like the UI play. For some reason, when you do the WASD, it highlights the buttons, but we don't know why it's randomly doing that. So I guess for some reason they automatically tie in the UI with WASD.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a Unity thing, or if it does that.
See,
But
my script doesn't. I mean, my slider is only meant for volume for mouse.
well, somewhere it's controlling it with the keys.
That's embarrassing.
That's marvelous.
All right, so we got
Kind of
about
like our faceless
10 minutes
villagers.
left. What specifically would you guys like to get feedback on? I think we've pinpointed quite a few things that for you to focus on for the next one.
Yeah, I think so too.
I would like to know your personal opinion as far as like what we could move forward to focus on.
Well, I mean, the game itself is really solid, right? Like it's just a matter of like, I think it's going to be really important to make sure it's clear how the paper rock scissors stuff works. So because like going into it, like it can be a little difficult to kind of know what you should be sending, and like right now, I've been kind of just like guessing and throwing stuff out there. I think we need to. I'm trying to figure out. Like as a player, it seems like it's mainly rats that are coming out, right?
It's just first level, yeah.
First level, you only deal with rats.
Gotcha. Okay. So so you're almost featuring the bandit here, right? Like as far as like what's going to take down, and then also the doctor whenever to take care of the fog clouds. So I tend to be a much more of a sit back and then send a horde type person. So I'm actually not playing as defensively as I normally would, and that's just because I'm kind of tinkering around. But like I feel like everything that I'm seeing here is the kinds of things that I would expect to see, and that's great. The only thing that I'm having an issue with is like understanding what things are and what the right strategic choices are to make. So the more that we can focus on just making sure the player understands your game and how to interact with it, the better it'll be. And then especially in these first few levels. Because like this could be a case where if you think about this level as almost like the where you talk about the benefits of the bandit, and then like maybe you even don't have the clouds come this far down. So like the first part of the level is just the player like using bandits to clear rats, right? And then once you get past the halfway point, now there's the fog. So now you need to bring doctors with them in order to like allow them to move a little further, that kind of thing.
Right.
We could actually, for this first level, just limit them to nothing but doctors, bandits, and warriors that they can spawn. So they're gonna see, hey, certain units are weak, units are strong, and doctors clean, and then maybe that way knights aren't too powerful, and then slowly introduce units into it throughout the levels.
That's a really good idea, actually, because there's a lot of stuff just right off the bat. And if I were limited to maybe even just the top row, and then like, or you could like, I don't know if you want to maybe the top row and the engineer, because this could be like you don't put towers in this level, right? Like you could hold off on towers entirely till the next level, and make that be kind of like the next one up thing on top, when you go into that second level.
Okay.
So. But yeah, I mean that's the kind of stuff to talk about right now, because like the game itself, like I said, is solid. It's just a matter of like making sure the player understands how everything kind of works together, and then polishing and cleaning up. So, do you know what art assets are supposed to be coming next?
Other than the wheat fields, that's all I heard was that you're getting new wheat fields.
Yeah, she's focusing on characters and wheat fields.
Okay.
Or in the wheat field for this week, I think.
Okay. And then do you have a meeting with them weekly to talk about next steps, or do you request things? How does that process working for you?
There's a Trello, and on the Trello board, basically there are all the assets that need to be done, and then they check one out, and when they finish it, they check it back in, move it over.
Okay, cool.
So that's how the process is supposed to work. Because last week was the first week and Sam was sick, we don't know how well she's going to follow it. But I'll be able to stay on top of that myself this week.
Okay. Why don't you and I sit down and look at what the prioritization of that stuff is? Okay. And maybe we can figure out if we need to make any adjustments for greater impact early on or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
I do know that Steve, who is Karis's intern, is working on the towers for you guys.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Good,
And
because we haven't
he's
talked about
making
this since last Monday.
Yeah, he's making each individual tower obvious what it does by itself. So like the slow tower is going to look like icy and like have ice crystals on it and stuff and things like that. So it's like obvious what it does.
Very cool.
Awesome.
So.
Sweet. Cool.
Although we may want to talk to him also, because we have right now towers rotate, but I don't know if we need that rotating top, or is that just an image, Gary? I don't know how you set it up.
What?
The rotating piece, is that actually a game object, or is it completely empty that just rotates?
What are you talking about?
You know how you have the rotated piece on the tower?
Yeah, that's the rotate. That's basically if we have like barrels on the tower, that will rotate whatever barrels is focusing on the target.
Okay.
That's what that's used for.
Okay. Then we'll have to definitely, if we decide to definitely have a rotating barrel, we'll have to talk with Steve on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it follows the target and it instantiates off that the z-axis.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Anything else you guys want to cover before we call it?
I'm good.
Yeah, no.
You guys.
So do you feel like you kind of know what things to focus on to get a task list ready now, or is there anything else you want to cover with that? Or I mean, if you even have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or whatever too.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good for now.
We can resort back to this video too if we need to.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, in that case, we'll call it, and we'll be in touch tomorrow and see where to go from there.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thanks.